Hello everybody, I am Angry Bird. Welcome back to a new Steel Division League cast today. We're continuing the best of 5 series between Boy and Adler 3000. If you haven't seen the games up to now, make sure you catch them because it's been great so far and the series is currently equal with 1 win apiece between these two players. So today's game, on the left hand side we have Boy playing Vanguard Income, the third different income choice for this player. And wow, look at this 12th Tartlic deck with all of that off map. I guess overall it's not the most amount of off map we've ever seen. I think that the glory of that record goes to Amber T. But yeah, I mean, those early A-phase off maps, they are quite low caliber. If I remember right, they're about 105 millimeters kind of caliber. So they definitely aren't going to do any killing damage, but what they will do is suppress infantry within the area of the artillery barrage. Outside of that, we've got plenty of infantry, 90 units of infantry, mostly Lovas. Yeah, pretty much all Lovas infantry in the Tartlic deck. And we have a few Stugs, 5 Stugs, along with 8 H39s. We also got some Stu 42s and some Focke-Wulf airplanes, some Ju-88s, you know, the ability to do some bombing strikes, but I think most of the work in this deck from Boy today is going to be done by the infantry. It will be interesting to see what happens. He is on Vanguard Income, so he's going to have to make a breakthrough early. From looking at the units out on the field, it looks like it will be the centre. Although well, it could be anywhere actually, because the north is a lot of units there, and actually the south is the H39 down there. I think it's going to be the centre of the north where he makes that breakthrough. He's going to be up against Adler, playing the 6th Airborne on Flatline Income. So Adler's going to have to try and hold off from this early strike or early Vanguard push. He has plenty of off-map of his own. Both cards in B phase, which is kind of interesting that he hasn't split them up between kind of A and B phase or B and C phase. And actually looking at his deck, the Typhoon anti-tank rocket planes, I'm not quite sure he does need those in his deck. I mean, he has great anti-tank options. The 6th Airborne has great anti-tank options. I wouldn't be expecting to see a lot of tanks coming out of the Tartlic deck, so I think he could have saved some points there or dedicated more towards bombers or actually fighters, because the AA is limited in range for the 6th Airborne deck. But we'll see how he gets on there. I think man-for-man infantry stakes. I do think the 6th Airborne can stand up to the Hungarian infantry, so it will be interesting who kind of wins out in this battle between the two sort of mostly infantry divisions. Will those Tempests come into play? Will the Mosquito bombers come into play? Will the 25-pounders come into play? How is Adler going to defeat this Hungarian infantry division? And he certainly has the tank advantage overall in numbers. Those Tetrarchs, Cromwells, Tetrarch Lil Johns. I think there's a lot of ability to take out those Stugs. So I think a lot of this matchup may come down to the infantry game. The match is underway. Let's just remind ourselves, Boy on the left-hand side in blue does make a big attack into the centre ground. He's playing the 12th Tartlic on Vanguard income, he's up against Adler 3000 on the right hand side in red. He is playing the 6th Airborne on flatline income and decent, you know, a flatline defense being set up. But where will this attack come through? Because the Hungarian infantry is fairly... I'm not quite sure what that means. So apologies for that. But yeah, the Hungarian infantry is does come in much slower transports, although actually fairly well matched by the British infantry. They don't come in fast transports either. But a hell of a lot of unloads taking place. It's not a battle at knife range, this. It's a battle at 1,000 paces. The Tetrox do start to come up. I think 36M is in here. That is getting shot at. Oh, some smoke being thrown down by the Langzorstock. And the Löwesfeldterratok is pushing forwards. We do have the Tetrox on the way. But they're going to need to get... Yeah, they are now in range of those Beza machine guns. If I've said that correctly. Can't even pronounce my own language. So anyone that's complained on my channel about pronunciation of foreign words, don't worry, I can't pronounce my own language. And a couple of the glider crews falling back. This is a very slow battle, this. Oh, it looks like a glider crews pushing over the river up in the north. ME-210 coming in. Mosquito coming in from the 6th Airborne. Oh, I think that ME-210 was actually coming in for the sniper there, so doesn't release its payload. And actually, neither does the Mosquito. I'm not sure whether that was... I don't think that was forced back by the 36M. I think Adler just called it off. So, yeah, a bit of a wet blanket competition there from the two aircraft that came in. Adler does pick up a flag up north. Oh, I think that comment earlier was to do with the two transport speeds. Interesting to see who would be faster to the front, the Hungarians or the British. I think that was what the comment was related to. So, the Centaur 4 is still back here, and that 40M has heat shells. But I don't know whether it's just out of range. In comes the ME-210 though, drops those bombs, forces that Centaur 4 back, and in comes the Tempest with its bombs. Does destroy the 97/38M. I think that was a 75mm. So the attack in the center ground has been halted, but a lot of reinforcements coming in. And not so many from Adler. But he has pushed forward himself over the northern side. The H-39s come onto the battlefield. And there's not really anything here that can oppose them. Another Mosquito coming in. It may be the same one as earlier. Looks like it's going to hit these Loves here. Yep, down goes the napalm bombs. And that unit is in a world of hurt right now. I think actually it would have been interesting if he'd have gone for sort of the bridge to try and stop anything from crossing. Ah, here is the other one. It's a little bit over the bridge, but would have done that job. If he'd have swapped those two planes around, that would have been mighty interesting. Because these 40Ms here should not be able to cross. Yeah, and Yarderboy does unload them there before they start getting destroyed by the fire. Look at this Loves unit up here, actually picking up a flag. The glider crew should knock that off. Incoming AB Paras. But this push is now starting to take hold. Atlas still has that 1311 though, thanks to crossing the river up north. He's actually crossed the river in the centre here as well with these glider crews. And may well sneak this flag in here if Yardaboy is not careful, but I think he might get surrounded eventually. If Adler can stop this central push, I think he's in a great position. But it all comes down to what's going to happen here in the center of this battlefield today. Ox and Bucks really are going to cover off the flag this time. The glider crew just could not do the job, but those Ox and Bucks, nope, they don't go down the transport. I was worried for a moment. Another Tempest coming onto the field. Not much AA. Ah, there is a 36M down here. Oh, and actually, yeah, just did the job in time. Falling back. I think he got the pilot injured. I think that was quite a key critical there. Just at the right time. AB leader not yet unloaded. And the Ox and Bucks aren't quite into position up there in the northern sector. The Lovas do go down. Adler has marked some AA. Oh, look at the units coming in here now to cover off. Yardaboy's definitely using his Vanguard income to really support this push here. But from what I've been seeing, I think as long as Adler can continue to just hold back the Horde, he's going to be setting himself up really well for the long-term portion of this game. The Lovas are going to eventually go down to the combined fire of the Ox and Bucks and the glider crew, and it looks like the Langzolashok did push forward, and they have recaptured the flag, but I think they are going to go down to the AB Paras. Yes, they do, and the flag is recaptured. Tempest is going to go in and try and hit that 75 mil. Will he get the kill? Should do. Oh, just one man remaining. One man remaining. Escapes with his life. And may live to tell the tale of the day the Tempest bombers came over the river in Krupa to try and destroy him, and he lost 5 of his best friends. Story time is over now, gents. And the battle continues raging in the center of this battlefield. The Lovas do unload and will start to push over the river on foot, wade through that water and try and resecure this kind of southern central side now. There's just one glider crew defending. The Centaur 4 is still there, trying to provide fire support. In comes another Tetrarch, but I mean, he's going to be up against so many anti-tank units. I think it would be much better just affording another Centaur 4 here. Let's see. Is there another one available? Yeah, there's 3 in total, so I imagine there's more available. And he does need some artillery to take down that 36M. Oh, that's what he's using the Centaur for. Very good choice here, because if that unit does go and there's no anti-air, then he can continue to rain airstrike after airstrike down on the Hungarian units. And that's what the 6th Airborne is good at. The AB Canadian Paras did push into the forest and defeat the Langzolashok that were in there. And actually a further attack up north could put Adler into a very, very special position. Wow, look at that mosquito strike onto the Lovas. In comes another off map for Yardaboy, but he's going again. He's going again into this central battlefield, and I feel like he is just throwing men into their deaths. A Mosquito did try and take out that ME210 there. Does start to gain altitude. There is a Tempest going to come down onto the MG34. The Centaur did go down, so the number of anti-tank guns in here, particularly the 40M, but this is why I'm not quite sure the Tetrarch was a good idea. Yeah. Just immediately obliterated by those 40Ms. This, to me, feels like it's been a really, really bad start for Yardaboy, and we are now into B phase. The income advantage switches to Adler. You still be down on overall income, but I'm sure with the trades that he's made, he may well even be up at this point. Down goes the ME plane behind enemy lines. And those Tempests should go back to base to reload and rearm. Centaur 4 at the back, continuing to try and battle these 40Ms. Taking a lot of damage. But yeah, pinning down a lot. And the Tempest's actually coming in for the strafing runs here. Another Tempest coming in as well. You've really got a feel for Yada Boy here. I don't think he's made the gains that he needed to make at the start of this game. And he is looking in trouble. Adler 13-11 up 11 minutes into this matchup. Loves are going to push across again. He did make some ground here up on this northern central area. But can he sustain it over time? Stuck 3G on the way in. Yada Boy does now have access to his Stugs. And we don't see many anti-tank guns onto the field. We do see a 6-pounder that is protecting that bridge. And actually that's a really nice position. Because basically it's just protecting this support road. And he can't get fired upon from virtually anywhere else. So actually a very nice position for that unit. Yada Boy will make a little bit of ground here in the southern central area. There are a couple of Cromwell 5s coming in here to try and stave off this attack. And without much support, I think eventually they will win the day. Adler does now have access to the Grenadier Voltigeurs, and they are good units in this 6th Airborne deck, so he's going to take as much advantage as he can get. And he did actually cross the river up here in the very far north. We said he could make that an attack if he did push it forwards, and he has done so. Look at the Louvres spreading out, starting to spread out. They're just going to be up against one Oxenbuck. Should easily win that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 squads. Roughly kind of about 12 men. So we're probably looking at, what, 80 men there against less than 10 at the time? I think they're definitely going to win that one. But there are Grenadier Voltigeurs coming in there to try and stave off that attack. So the Langsdottersock do push down, try and take out the AB flamethrowers. Adler moving them back, building to building, trying to avoid fire. And it looks like Yada Boy is going to win that engagement there between those two pair of units. Does come in trying to attack the glider crew. Yep, should get the victory there. Nice surrender, and here comes the off map, a little bit close to his units. But this could deal some nice damage. He doesn't really have any kind of follow-up here coming in. There is a 6-pounder covering things off. Ooh, Mosquito about to head down. No, further up north on these Lovas here. Protecting this flag, and actually a very good strike there. The AB Paras should be able to surrender those Lovas. Ooh, and a Tempest train coming up here to the centre north, and I think that's what it's going to be. Strike after strike, but there are now 40 36M 40mm AA pieces. Basically both his guns coming in for the Hungarians, and surely that will stop those further airstrikes. The 100mm off map, 100mm off map does come in for the Hungarians. Pins down everything. Can Yada Boy get the surrenders that he needs? Lovas moving over the open ground and into their building, held by the Grenadier Voltigeurs. So it's knife fighting now, building to building fighting. And I imagine those Lovas went down. It's a bit hard to tell due to the UI there. I'm sure in the old game they used to put them side by side and sort of, so you could at least see there was two units engaging with each other. But I guess that didn't happen in Steel Division 2. And Adler still remains with a 13-11. 24 minutes left on the clock. The Lovas have been beating the Grenadier Volts back in this position. There are a couple more reinforcements heading in. But I just feel like there's going to be a few airstrikes heading their way anytime soon. And this northern centre area has been completely recovered by Adler. All that's left in this southern town is some Langzolasok, and I think they'll battle. Well, no, they will go down to the flamethrowers here because it's just one man versus two. The other one should take them out, but the reinforcing infantry will eventually destroy them all. Oh, no, that is the leader. That is the Belgium leader. I was about to say that was the commander, but no, that is the Belgium leader. I don't know whether he does have a commander in his deck. Yes, the AB commander. I don't think we have him on the field right now. Kind of interesting that he didn't come into this kind of central position. Oh, we do have a 25-pounder here. We do now have a 25-pounder. And actually a couple of Stu-42s come onto the field. Tempest strikes up north onto the Lovas, trying to contest this very northern flag. That should deal with them rather nicely. Actually, the second one's circling back there. Really interesting. Oh, but down it goes. The 40Ms did their job, or the 36Ms, sorry. Yeah, actually a lot of leaders down here as well. So a couple of these are 3-star Bofors. The Lovas commander is here. I believe that's the Lovas commander. Yes, it is. So he is on the field now as well. $14-10 to Adler. Oh, we do have another off map down south. I think it's the 43M. Once again, lots of M's in this Hungarian Tartelek division. And the 25-pounder is continuing to barrage this area. Not quite getting perfect strikes right now. I think this is just a slow and steady game for Adler. And Yardaboy, I just feel like he's in a terrible position right now. Playing Vanguard income, we're almost into C phase, and he's just not made the gains that he needed to make, and it's looking very tough for him. I think he is now investing in the north. He's trying to take back these northern flags. Even if he does it, he's still got more ground to make. He needs to make more ground. The Lovas here may well pick up a flag against these Grenadiers. But eventually, from a counter-attack or an airstrike, I think Adler's going to make it back. But at least there are some gains going to be made here. The Lovas should defeat the Grenadier Volts at close 100-meter range. 2 Sten guns will come in handy, but just the men, the number of men in that Lovas squad should beat out the Grenadiers. And I think the Mosquitoes were trying to come in there, but the Bofors has forced it back. And will it actually get the kill? Yes, it will. Those airstrikes are now starting to be defeated. I think Adler moved him out there and didn't kind of change his order, because most players tend to have auto cover on their rule of engagement, so a unit will automatically go into cover. So I think he tried to hide him behind the building there, but didn't change his auto cover order, so the unit hopped back in the building and then got destroyed by the Lovas. Here we have the bigger off maps. The HE46E-2UN. Wow, look at that thing. I think I've ever seen this thing up close. I mean, if you can't spot the fact there's an off-map airplane in the skies, then surely you can spot a bright orange off-map plane. A bright orange and pink one. That's fantastic. I guess from above, there are some orange fields around and some brown vegetation that may well hide it when you're looking at it from above. But let's not focus on that right now. Let's focus on the actual off-map strike that's coming in here, because it is of significant caliber. Is it going to turn the battle? It doesn't feel like it, but it may well deal some heavy blows to the 6th Airborne. And it's still flying around down here. He's not recalled it yet, and I wonder whether that's a bait from these. I have a feeling that maybe a little bit of a bait, in a sense of a player usually tries to take down these off-map planes, but he does have a lot of AA cover down here, so anything coming in may well be defeated. Usually a player will put an off-map down and then recall the plane, so completely back to base. But Yoda Boy not doing that, instead keeping it behind his AA. Very interesting. The Polstons there not able to do the job and force back that artillery off-map observer. Oh, and the Stu-42 takes a shot at the Cromwell with those heat shells and gets the kill. Will it go 2 for 2? Yes, it will! So, nice kills from that Stu-42, but it's just 2 Cromwells for now. He's got a mighty lot more to do to rescue this battle for the Hungarians. Another off-map strike surely on the way. The Polstons may well shoot this down now. Yes, the Polstons do shoot it down. So just 2 off-map strikes of the 3, and that is the danger of using these off-map artillery planes. I know it's been suggested by many people to extend the range to the full size, kind of 2-kilometer range, whereas I think they have like 1.5. And I do kind of see that point. The other argument is that the artillery off-map planes tend to have massive caliber off-maps, so there does need to be some kind of risk versus reward, I think. But yeah, it's an interesting discussion to be had, along with all of the other balanced discussions that Steel Division 2 is currently undertaking. Tempest strike into the centre. The other one forced back by the Bofors. And I don't think it's going to go down. Yes, it does go down. Right at the edge of range there. Right at the edge of range. So those Bofors are beginning to do a hell of a lot of work. And I think the 25-pounders have to start raining down fire. I think Adler could do with some more artillery onto his side of the battlefield right now. He does have those 6 25-pounders. I'm sure he'll bring in the off-map. I've just seen it come onto the field. But yeah, some standard 25-pounder artillery to take on these anti-air units. I think that would be worthwhile. We do see the AOP carrier coming down to support the northern section of the battlefield, and I think it's just going to be an exchange of off-map between these two players. And Adler has cemented himself a 14-10 lead since the very early on in this engagement between the two players. He has 16 minutes left to hold, and I don't really see Yoda Boy being able to shake him from that hold. These off-maps are going to do, well, this one not so much damage. Maybe able to take a flag. Maybe even 2. But he needs to hope that somehow he can just outlast the 6th Airborne. I think if Yoda Boy was to win this game, I think we're looking at a full-on post 60-minute game here. I think the only way he can win right now is just to outlast the 6th Airborne and try and take them out from the skies. Does he have much artillery? I'm trying to remember right now. He does have some FKs, which I think I would like to see onto the field to try and help him just continually bombard enemy positions where we know there's infantry so that you can try and kind of outlast Adler. Okay, this off map does pin down a few units. He does have some supporting units down there. Down goes an AB Canadian para. The other units are hit quite heavily. I think he can push in here and get this flag back. And that will be at least one flag recovered. Oh, here comes Adler with his AOP carrier off maps now. And I think that's what we're going to see. Off map strike after off map strike. Yodaboy did make a dent into the center of this battlefield. He definitely made a dent. But that dent, unfortunately, is not around any flags. So he hasn't actually gained... In fact, I don't think he didn't actually gain this flag. The kind of flag you would most associate with a center push. He never actually gained it. So unfortunately, I think his center... His strategy to attack the center of this battlefield really did fail today. And can he outlast? Can he outlast the 6th Airborne? I would be surprised at this point in the game. I think he may well actually... The Loves do push up here in the very north. They may well take this bridge in the center north. Maybe he can make some ground here. I just have a feeling that these Canadian paras are now retreating. We will probably see an off-map right onto this position. Which would be the 3rd of the AOP carrier off-maps. But there are many more vehicles that can come in to support Adler at this time. Yeah. Funny that. He's actually going to sacrifice his airborne paras. They're going to die to the last man. And, yeah, a lot of Loves moving in there, and it may well be a lot of dead Loves 15 seconds from now. Let's try and get down to watch the utter destruction that these strikes will bring. Maybe not quite as much destruction as I actually thought there. I mean, just look at the craters on this battlefield. How those units survived. A few have died here, look. But look at the craters all the way around this forest, and yet this little pocket where the units were, somehow most of them survived. I think that's the AOP carrier done. Honestly, I'd expect another off-map to come in anytime soon from Adler. I just can't see him... Well, he is back to 12-12. Yodaboy has made it back to 12-12. So Adler is going to have to at least put some kind of effort in here and push forwards once again. I would expect another off-map to come into this northern side, and I think that would be the right call right now. Actually, the number of Loves troops here are quite numerous. Perhaps Yodaboy can make some kind of push up here into this northern, town. It might be possible. The Canadian paras are just going to defend the forest for a little while longer. They have those Willy Pete grenades to help them out. I think it's going to be whoever off-maps first may well get the advantage here. Here comes Adler. He must have had another strike left in that AOP carrier because I could have sworn he'd used them all. I think Yarder Boy... Ooh, this is... Oh, this is building up. This is definitely building. Is it building to a great grand finale? I'm not 100% sure at this stage. Here is the 100mm off map up on the northern side. Is this building to a big grand finale? Here comes the off map from Adler. Oh, the Cromwell's going to push over the bridge. Everything pinned down right now. A lot of fire coming across from this defensive line set up by the 6th Airborne. We see some movement from the Paras. Cromwell's pushing forwards. Looks like the Paras are going to cross the river. The off map up north has halted the push from Adler there. And Yarder Boy is held back for now. There are some skirmishers, Tempest, coming in to try and hit those Loves up north. And another one. Ooh, does shoot down that off-map plane. Maywell Yap does immediately go down there as well. I think the combination of the 36M Bofors down here and the 2839M up here as well. Adler brings in the Willys OP. This little guy with the... I love that little radio there. That is pretty darn cool. I feel like I've got this on fast speed. He is barreling through the... Whoa, look at that. That is fantastic. Oh, another one. Unbelievable. I love this game. I absolutely love this game. That was fantastic. That was amazing. Oh, such little things get me so worked up. 25-pounders continuing to shell the Bofors. And no, oh, we do have some FK280s on the field now. Yes, they are trying to counter battery those 25-pounders. More off maps onto the field. This one's just the 100mm off map from that 43M Steer FAO. So not a hell of a lot of damage I'm expecting here, unless we get a direct hit onto those Cromwells. Adler did get the flag for a moment, but I think the Grenadiers are going to go down. Here's the response. The Willys OP 381mm off map. And yeah. Actually, look at Yarder Boy here, capturing 2 flags. Gets himself the 13-11 for the first time in the game. 34 minutes in. Ooh, but that off map looks devastatingly on point. We did say that previously, though. I actually wonder whether Adler would be better here using this smaller off map, the longer barrage time, and just stick it on this forest for a longer period of barrage. Oh, we can see artillery shells being traded by each other, and it looks like actually Yarder Boy's picking up his artillery and moving them around, trying to avoid that counter battery fire from those 25-pounders. into the center. We have had some AB paras move forwards, and these 40Ms are going to be killed in kind of hand-to-hand action. But I think the majority gains... Oh, we missed those strikes. I'm sorry, guys. I failed. Oh my god, just look at this forest. Just decimated. Absolutely decimated. It's the Forest of the Dead. Another 100mm off map up in the north. I have a feeling Yarder Boy does have one more off map of it at his disposal. I think I've only seen 2 artillery observer planes come in, so I do feel like he has one more big off-map plane available to him. Whereas, in terms of the 6th Airborne, they've got a hell of a lot. We've seen 1 AOP carrier and 1 Willis, so they've got another 2. Which is like 6 more strikes of heavy off-map. Tempest flying overhead, and then finally dives down and drops its bomb, secures a kill onto one of the Loves units in there. AB flamethrowers moving across into the Forest of the Dead, and I'm sure they will continue the reign of death that has taken place there. How they can... Oh! A artillery strike completely takes down one of them. So yes, I guess it does continue to be the Forest of the Dead. AB Paras trying to get across, but pinned down by the artillery fire coming in onto the position. Another off map coming on a little bit further north. Adler tried an attack there, didn't manage to make it pay. But he is 13-11 up. He has resecured that flag over the bridge. Nothing happening down in the south. Continual 25-pounder strikes onto the Bofors into the centre. 8 minutes left on the clock. I still don't really see any result but a win for Adler right now. Cromwell does go down to the 28/39M there. Stuck 3G making its way onto the battlefield. But, I mean, it's going to be facing off against the challengers. Either side can win those battles. Oh, Typhoon Mark 1B. I think perhaps somehow got a bead on that Stuck 3G. But, yeah, not even able to get across the river there. Those Bofors are going to need some more ammunition, though. They are running out. They've been there a long time. Someone will correct me if they aren't actually... oh no, those ones aren't. If these aren't actually Bofors, someone will correct me. It looks to be the same design. I wonder whether it was just Hungarian licensed version. So AB Paras go down, you know, crossing the river, getting cut off and going down. Lovis pushing forward into the Forest of the Dead. And artillery strikes onto the challengers. Oh, Typhoon coming in from the north here. Almost got his rockets off. But forced back again. Interesting manoeuvre there. Try and come at the battle from the north. Nothing further happening down south. Oh, looks like the Bofors gun did... No, they have retreated. So they've been at least forced back by the continual 25-pounder fire. Not too much infantry up in this northern city from Adler. I definitely think he's starting to conserve units just to make sure he's got enough. I think, I was literally about to say, I think we'll see another off-map vehicle come in, and that's exactly what we see. Ooh, Paras versus Lovas. The Tripolston's going to get involved here. And that Tripolston may well run out of ammunition very soon as well, so... Doesn't get a lot of ammunition, but it is very strong, as we see there. The other two Lovas, you know, falling over themselves as they're trying to attack the AB Paras. Definitely not what the Hungarian commanders will want to see. And the other one strolls into the line of fire of that Tripolston and gets murdered in the forest of the dead. More dead to be added to the forest. I hope that gets turned into kind of a graveyard. I kind of wish they'll make a memorial out of it. Perhaps they'll kind of cut down the trees and make kind of like a cemetery, a memorial in that forest. To the numbers of men that died fighting over the river in Krupa. So 13-11 to Adler. 5 minutes left now. 5 minutes left. And like I say, I'd still be very surprised if Yada Boy can make it through. Ooh, Challenger does go down to the stuck 3G there. I did say either side can kill each other at this point. Challenger will get first shot this time. And in Zach's revenge on the stuck 3G. So again, Adler takes up position on this flag over the river. Oh, only one Grenadier Volts remaining up north. That could present some kind of opening. But more AB Paras on the way, Grenadier Volts. And remember, we did get that fresh off-map. Down goes the Stu 42 to the off-map. Stuck 3G caught in there as well. The infantry, oh, actually caught in that off-map. Ooh. Painful. Down goes to 75 mil. The Loves forced to retreat. The Stuck 3G goes down as well. Oh, some big kills with that off-map. Loves do kill the Grenadier Volts in the northern side. And look at the territory start to swing there. Reinforcing units do start to come in though. And I have a feeling the Loves is going to get halted inside of this off-map targeting circle. And they may well go down. A couple of Paras caught in the trucks. Destroyed by the Stug or the Stew. Or the... Is it Stir? Stir. Yada Boy this time with an off-map of his own. I imagine it's still this 100mm off-map here. Well, he looks like he is committed to this northern side. He's got 3 minutes left. Can he make a thrust count? Ooh, we're going to see off-map up on this north. I think it's going to halt this push from the Loves. I don't think there's enough men there either. I think the reinforcements did come in from Adler and they came in just in the nick of time. Oh, Yada Boy's got to be careful he doesn't push into his own off-map here as well. Oh, and Adler's going to respond. Oh, more bodies donated to the Forest of the Dead incoming. Wow, just look at the pure artillery. It's just, I mean, if this kind of stuff actually happened, it's just words cannot describe this. Pretty accurate shot onto the AB Paras there. Does take down that unit. Yada Boy does pick up both flags, just sort of. But I feel like he's going to get halted now. AB Paras make themselves back over the river. Oh, just... Oh. Devastation. Just pure devastation. Actually, while all this has happened, Adler has made a push across the river down south. We will join that in a moment. Yeah, the off-map has now finished, so let's just join that. And actually, yeah, he's managed to get some units across this river here. While we've been concentrating on that northern side, he has picked up a flag back here. Gives himself that 14-10. It does give Jardaboy something to worry about. He has to reinforce this area, take some pressure off Adler up north. Or, from the other perspective, continues to apply pressure to Jardaboy. Interestingly, at this point, none of the Canadians down here are pushing forwards over the river. I think they could add to this attack. Oh, those Grenadier Volts are caught behind enemy lines now. It's actually a little bit tough to... oh, look at this, the Typhoon trying to swing in again from the north. Actually being used for anti-infantry duty here as the Loves do cross the river. The rocket strikes come down at... ooh, pin down every unit there. What a strike from that Typhoon? Yes, Typhoon. I wasn't 100% sure whether it was a Typhoon or Tempest then. ME-109 G6 does cross the river trying to chase that Typhoon, but there are a couple of Polstons and Tri-Polstons in here. A little bit concerned about that ME-109. And yeah, it does go down to the Tri-Polston. Bit of a shame. Another Typhoon attack coming in here onto the MG. Pins that one down as well. But there are a lot more AA guns down here on the southern side. This kind of push has been stunted. The flags have been contained. Jardaboy picks himself a 13-11 up, holding these two northern flags. And will he manage this? I mean, look at the timer. I didn't even notice, but look at the timer. He has a sliver of time left. He has to hold these flags, because if he doesn't, he could go down. And there is an off-map strike on his position. 12-12. Adler just needs a flag, picks up the flag here, 11 seconds left on the clock, and will get the victory. So there we have it. Let's try and focus in the Forest of the Dead as we leave this. No, it's 12-12. There's barely any time left. But yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is. 48 minutes exactly. Adler picks up the victory. Wow, look at that. 4,160 kills to 4,245 losses. Congratulations, Adler. Commiserations, Jardaboy. And really, I think it was the wrong strategy. I think it was the wrong strategy from Jardaboy, and I think that's what cost him. He went with that early Vanguard rush over the center bridge strategy, and it may work for him at times. It may have worked for him in other games. Just today, it just unfortunately didn't work for him. And Adler had the lead from very early on, even against the Vanguard income advantage. And it just didn't work for Jardaboy. I hesitate to look at the kills. I wish you could center on that Forest of the Dead and see how many kills there. Look at this 6-pounder. I think that was the one that was in the position covering that road. But a number of H39 kills. A few Tempest strikes. I think Adler really made Jardaboy pay early for those airstrikes. But sort of after about 10 minutes, Jardaboy had invested in a number of those Bofors guns, and at that point the airstrikes really did start to drop off. But the replacement to those airstrikes were the off-maps, and that's how Adler continued his reign of fire and doom down onto Jardaboy's units. Tri-Polston actually got a lot of kills here, and that thing had a kind of sight line onto that Forest of the Dead, and a lot of Lobes died to that Tripolstum. And there we have it. So, Adler takes the lead in this best of 5 series, 2-1. And the next game may well decide things. If Adler gets the victory, he may well be crowned champion of Division 3. If Yardaboy gets the victory, then we will go to a final game between these two players. Make sure you don't miss the next one. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you're not subscribed, and check out the links in my description to my social pages, and consider supporting me so that I'm able to make more content for you guys. Like I say, hopefully you enjoyed it. Drop any comments down below. Thanks very much for watching. I am Angry Bird. I will see you next time.